Hi you, King here, and I think I finally cracked the Batman Part 2 thanks to the Penguin series. How it will most likely start, how the story will most likely go, and how it will most likely end. So, it's theory time! Now, Matt Reeves has revealed that the events of the Penguin will lead directly into the Batman Part 2, and that it will be an even more personal story for Bruce and put him into an even more deeper, dangerous mystery. But people are wondering how. Well, Matt Reeves also revealed that he had laid clues in the scenes of the Batman Part 1 as to what that greater, mysterious danger could be. So I figure, why not break down the Batman and the Penguin series to hopefully reveal what that mystery is. First off, how the Penguin series will most likely end. Being that this is a Sopranos type story about Penguin's rise to the top, and being that he is one of the significant villain characters of Batman's mythos and rogues gallery, I doubt Matt Reeves is gonna subvert expectations by having him die at the end of the show. So one of my theories that I believe has a 99% chance of coming true is that at the end of the series, Penguin will indeed become a drug lord kingpin. But how will that lead and be necessary for the events and story of the Batman Part 2? Well, let's start here. Matt Reeves said there were clues in the Batman Part 1 that will indicate the story for the Batman Part 2. And the biggest clue everyone keeps bringing back up is the owl letter message from the Riddler, possibly indicating the Court of Owls. But when you really get into the Batman movie, dissecting it, breaking down every little scene, you realize there's a lot of things connecting it to the Court of Owls. Not just from how the most influential and rich of Gothamites can break and control the system, but to even how Batman's own costume could have been inspired by the personal assassins of the Court of Owls, the Talons. First up, how that connects to the orphanage. You see, just like Bruce, just like Riddler, these orphans could have grown up to be anything. But that always depends on who adopts them. But what if there was a secret organization adopting them, but keeping it off the books, off record, so no one knew what happened to these orphans? All they knew was that they got adopted, but there wasn't even any record showing that those orphans ever existed. And instead of growing up to be, police or nurses, doctors, firefighters, anything, instead they were secretly trained up to be assassins. And what if something like this had been happening for years, centuries even under the good old noses of Thomas and Martha Wayne, especially since Thomas would have been more focused on keeping Martha's mental illness a secret from the public. But speaking of the Waynes, if the Court of Owl is made up of the richest of Gothamites, am I saying that Thomas and Martha was secretly a part of the court? No. You see, I do believe that the Court of Owls did reach out to the Waynes for them to join, as they are rich and powerful enough to be one of their members, but because of the Waynes' moral standards, they had declined the offer. But with knowing how dangerous the Court of Owls are, they decided to keep their existence a secret. But the problem was they just didn't realize how dangerous they were, as the Court of Owls decided they couldn't just let a wild card of a family like the Waynes continue to live on. So they manipulated events, leading to the possible leak of Martha's illness getting out, Carmel Falcone getting involved with Thomas Wayne, and all of that leading towards the mysterious death of the Waynes. Where even in the movie it was revealed that Falcone didn't know who actually killed the Waynes, and neither did Alfred. A murder mystery so great that even the Riddler couldn't solve it, because even the Riddler didn't know of the Court of Owls' existence. All he thought was that Gotham was being led by corrupt leaders that were being paid by the crime families of Gotham, never once considering there might be an even deeper, darker, more powerful echelon of secret leaders controlling Gotham. And with the Court of Owls being the true cause behind his parents' murder, could be the reason why it could be an even more personal story for Bruce. I mean, the truth of the matter is, the Court of Owls is supposed to be a scary bedtime story, a myth told throughout the history of Gotham. So what if young Bruce, hearing the tales of the myth about the Court of Owls and their assassins, the Talons, was inspired by the details of the Talons' costume to create his own costume in their likeness? To strike even more fear into the hearts of criminals before the events of the Batman Part 2, where he would realize the Court of Owls is the cause behind his parents' murder, which could really mess with him psychologically and make for even more in-depth, compelling storytelling. And to put more emphasis on why the Court of Owls would make so much sense, we're talking about a secret organization full of rich billionaires that have been controlling Gotham for centuries. who would have all this time strategically been using their group of assassins, the Talons, to take out anyone who would have either been a threat to their power or, by assassinating them, would have granted them even more power. And utilizing the unrelenting criminal element of Gotham to act as the blame for those mysterious deaths, such as the crime families and the mentally insane of Gotham, which would have been the reason why Arkham Asylum would have been built in the first place. But because they control the records and practically the entire system, they make places like Arkham Asylum and Blackgate Prison revolving doors, allowing these criminals back on these streets to distract society from the true cause of all these deaths. And I believe that all these crime bosses know of the Court of Owl's existence because they're practically like their servants. With whatever the court wants, they'll do it because 1, they don't want to be killed by their Talons, and 2, they'll most likely pay handsomely for it. And I think Carmel Falcone was one of the crime bosses that knew of the Court of Owl's existence. I mean, he even said it himself in the first Batman movie that the stuff he knows, they'll have him walking within a day or a week because he knows too much, i.e. he knows about the Court of Owls and has probably been a loyal servant to them. And I believe with him being gone and the Penguin rising up to the similar type status or even greater, that the Court of Owls will reach out to the Penguin. The Penguin will know of their existence and will become their newest type servant, which will be kind of ironic that the Penguin dragged himself up towards being a crime boss so that he wouldn't be anyone's servant, just to end up being a servant again to an even more powerful secret organization. But I don't think it'll just be that. Penguin will rise up to being a crime boss through this shipment of drugs that is coming through that Sophia knows about. And it's being kept hush-hush. I'm only on episode 2. I'm watching, week by week like everyone else. But I believe that this drug is going to be something more impactful than the drops that has been kind of like controlling the addictions of Gothamites throughout the city. But I believe it's going to be something more related to the comics than just being a made-up drug. And some people have theorized that it's going to be Venom, but I don't think so. Because Venom's meant to make you stronger and make you go crazy, and I don't think that's going to be profitable to crime families as their selling pitch, and I don't think it's going to be attractive to Gothamites who are just looking to get a buzz. I think that this new drug is going to be similar to Joker's laughing gas in the comics. Something that just makes someone inexplicably happy, just laughing and just going crazy with joy. As Joker has had the laughing gas formula in various different forms, whether it be a pill form or a liquid drug form, I believe that this drug will indeed be that, and this universe has their very own Joker. And we've only had one scene plus a deleted scene where he talks to the Batman. But he does exist in Arkham Asylum right now, and he's made friends with the Riddler. But Matt Reeves has said he's not going to have the Joker be the main antagonist of the Batman Part 2. But I believe that this new mysterious drug is going to be important to the events of the Batman Part 2, or at least will be something that is revealed at the end of the Penguin series as to why the Penguin does indeed rise to the status of crime boss and will not really be important in the Batman Part 2, but we'll at least know that this will be the new type of drug that Gothamites are going crazy over on the streets of Gotham City, and that the Joker will somehow get his hands on it and take it away from the Penguin, maybe even, doing something to the formula to make the effects it has on people even crazier, making them laugh uncontrollably as if they're overdosing and stuff. And this could either be a post-credit scene or the deleted scene of both him and the Riddler getting their hands on it to allude towards the events of a spin-off series focused on those two, or the story of the Batman Part 3. But like I said at the beginning of this video, the Penguin series has cracked the story for the Batman Part 2, in my opinion, where I believe the story will start with Penguin finding out about the Court of Owls and becoming their newest lapdog. The story will continue with Bruce finding out about the Court of Owls and trying to solve this encompassing mystery that wraps around the murder of his parents and the history of Gotham, and how it will end with hopefully Bruce being able to take them down, if not, at least become one step closer to cleaning up the streets of Gotham for good. But that's just a theory. We'll have to wait until the end of the Penguin series to see if I'm right, so go check it out. As well as, until then, like, share, subscribe, and follow. Comment down your thoughts below on my theory and what you liked from this video, and ring that notification bell so you can know first when videos like this drop. Thank you for watching till the end. Stay great.